Hello and welcome to the Coefficient Talks, the channel where we keep an eye on the rankings for the European spots. In this video, we will look at the playoff games as well as Friday's draw that now shows every team's road to the final. To start off with, I must say the playoff games had some huge surprises and some very close calls for some of the bigger teams. I'll go through it country by country, starting with the top 15 fight and making my way up the ranking battle for top 2. In the fight for top 15, it was realistically reduced to a fight between Switzerland and Cyprus for that extra Champions League qualifier. Switzerland needed Lausanne to progress and Omanoia to get eliminated to keep a fighting chance. Omanoia lost to Rijeka and Lausanne had to win at home against Sigma from Czech Republic. Unfortunately for Switzerland, a last-minute goal from Lausanne was disallowed, keeping the game from going into overtime. Lausanne is out, and that means Switzerland is out of the top 15. Congratulations to Cyprus, who now will have 2 Champions League qualifying spots, and they can still build on their rankings this season, with Larnaca entering next round. Top 10 had a direct matchup between Czech Republic and Greece. The winner of that tie would most likely become the favorites to take the top 10 place and earn direct Champions League spot. And it was a very tight game between Victoria and Panathinaikos. The first one ended a draw 2-2, and in the return leg in the Czech Republic, it ended 1-1, and it eventually had to be settled by penalties, where a Bayside Panathinaikos managed to edge the win. However, the battle isn't over, as Greece lost PAOK and Olympiacos, whilst the Czech surprisingly still has Sigma in the Conference League. Poland had yet another round of great results, and they were so close to becoming even better. Jagiellonia lost at home 3-0 to Fiorentina and was expected out by everyone, including Fiorentina. But they managed to turn it around and win 3-0 in Italy, only to be eliminated in extra time. Final score was 4-2. If they had progressed, I believe Poland would actually become small favorites to take that top 10 finish already this year. Since the fight for top 15 is now officially over, I'll have most of my focus on the top 10 fight between Czech Republic, Greece and Poland, as well as the fight for the top 2 ranking this year between Portugal, Germany, Spain and Italy. In the top 10 fight, Galatasaray could either meet Liverpool or Tottenham, and they would be underdogs in both matchups, but still with a better chance of progression against Tottenham. Unfortunately for Galatasaray, they ended up drawing Liverpool, which is expected to be the end of the road. In the top 2 fight, Italy's Atalanta will be the underdog against either Arsenal or Bayern, and ended up drawing Bayern. In Europa League, Greece has Panathinaikos. That could be either meeting Midtjylland or Betis, a matchup where they will have their chances in both matchups, and they managed to get Betis. Italy, I must say, were unlucky, as they had Bologna and Roma draw each other, ensuring 1 elimination and 1 progression. This will be very problematic for them, as they need all 4 teams left in the competitions to perform if they are to get that second spot that gives the extra Champions League. So I would say with this draw, it looks very difficult. Spain has Betis and Celta. Celta got Lyon and not Aston Villa, but they would be underdogs in any of the matchups. And Betis, I would say, would prefer Panathinaikos over Forest, and therefore they got a good draw. Germany has Freiburg, and they got Genk again, which is a favorable draw compared to Bologna. Last, we'll have a look at the draws in the Conference League. And whilst most viewers watch Champions League, there are a lot of points at stake in the Conference League that can tilt the rankings in one direction. Furthermore, the strengths of the team vary, meaning that you can get very favorable draws down here. So Poland has Lech to draw Shakhtar Donetsk instead of Rayo, and with Shakhtar expected to be the weaker of the 2 teams, I would say that Lech is still an underdog in this draw. Rakov got the chance to avenge Jagiellonia as they're meeting Fiorentina. The other option was Rijeka, so they cannot be too happy with that. I would say Rakov has chances in both these matchups. Greece, they had AEK Athens, and they could either meet Celje or AZ, and they got Celje, which is a very favorable draw, as AZ, both historically and financially, is a much bigger club. And therefore, as a consequence, Czech Republic Sparta got AZ instead, and therefore must also be very unhappy with that draw. If we're looking at the teams from top 2 competition, Fiorentina were lucky to get Rakov over Strasbourg, as Strasbourg is expected to be a much better team than Rakov. From Spain, Rayo is meeting Samsunspor over Lech, and again, not a big impact between those two, but perhaps getting on that green path is easier. For Germany, we had Mainz that could either get drawn with Sigma or Crystal Palace, and they managed to get Sigma a very good draw. My conclusions on the draw is that this round could be the end of the Polish European season, but Shakhtar has definitely seen better days, and Jagiellonia showed the way regarding how you can beat Fiorentina, at least in Italy. They do have the stronger path, so even if they manage to overcome their immediate hurdles, they will meet stronger teams all the way to the final. Greece, on the other hand, had 2 very nice draws that can really help them push for that top 10 spots, especially as the same draw meant that the Czech Republic got the harder path for Sparta Prague, and Sigma also has Mainz, where they are not favorites. I would say the penalty shootout for Panathinaikos and this draw on Friday definitely has helped Greece's chances by a whole lot. Regarding the top 2, I think Italy's chances are realistically no longer there, as the draw did not favor them, and the draw, unfortunately for them, favored the other 3 contenders in both Germany, Spain, and Portugal.